What's shakin'? Hey, I'm Rick Jordan. Today, we're going all in. All right, I'm pumped. Why? Because I'm going to give you a couple of amazing things today about, you've heard this phrase like, be your best self. And while some of that sounds so cliche and everything, I'd like to think about it as like how to become the next version of you, right? And it's cool because while you grow through life, while you learn new things, you become newer versions, right? It's like 1.0 to 2.0 to 3.0. Sometimes it's like a little level up. So it's like a 3.1, then a 3.2. It's awesome because you can like mark these things as you go through life, like different phases. Some people call them glow ups. I've heard that too. It's kind of humorous, right? But it's like, oh, that's sweet. As you become different versions of yourself, you're trying to figure out like how to do that. And there's ways to do that because the ways in order to do that next you are to work on things that people can't take away from you, right? Most people will have no influence on these things that I'm going to give you today, except you as you allow that influence to happen, and they become such core parts of you where no matter what happens, once you forge these within yourself, it's going to be untouchable to anybody else. And nobody can pollute that. Nobody can dilute that. Nobody can change that because it becomes you and that next version of yourself. This is exciting because the first one that people can't take away from you is your mindset. It's only you that can screw up the thoughts in your head. I'm telling you, I'm saying this from experience too. Even looking back, even when I've struggled at some of my lowest times when I've been really, really sick. And at one point, even suicidal, I was thinking about this and nobody else can mess things up besides you that's going on in your own mind. And it's because of what you expose yourself to. But when you fortify your mindset, when you fortify these beliefs in your head, and I've done this over years and years and years to where people are like, oh my God, you're so positive all the time. You're so energetic all the time. And it's like, because I know I always have things to look forward to. I'm grateful every single day, and this is my mindset, one of gratitude and one of infinite possibilities. Did you hear that? The two things that I live by every single day are number one, gratitude, and another is infinite possibilities. Why would I not have energy? Because if that's how I am, every day I'm thankful for something. Every day I'm grateful for something. And every day I know that there are infinite possibilities of some awesome good things. Of course, there can be some bad things, but it's like, whatever happens, I'll deal with it. Why? Because I know there's infinite possibilities. I know there's all these amazing things. That's my mindset, is of infinite possibilities every single day and gratitude. Pick that up because nobody can ever, once I fortified that years ago, nobody can ever take that away from me because that's how I choose to live every single day. The second thing that nobody can take away from you when you fortify this is your character. And this is one important thing in being the next best version of you, version 2.0 or version 8.7, whatever it is, that wherever you're at in your growth chart right now, right? They cannot take away your character. That's like the core of who you are, is your character, how you act towards others, how you respond to situations, how you proactively approach situations. Nobody can take that away from you. That is something that you forged over years. And for me, it's an extension of my mindset. My character is an extension of my mindset. I'm energetic. I'm uplifting. I encourage. I'm direct. I'm coaching. I'm coachable. That's also important too. Coachable and teachable. I maintain mentors all around me. That's part of my character, is I find wisdom in a multitude of counselors. But this all came from my mindset of gratefulness or gratitude and infinite possibilities. My character became an extension of my mindset, and nobody can take that away from me, and nobody can take that away from you. And you know what? Those two things combined start to build and forge number 3, which is your personality. Your personality is something nobody can ever take away from you. And it's cool because your personality can actually actively shift. You know, you've got the core parts of your character, right, and your mindset that you're forged, but your personality is something that can change because of the experiences that you've created in life and the responses that you've had to certain stimuli that have come at you in life. That becomes your personality. That's how you start to deal with things and how you show up. Your personality is how you show up. Right. And when you have the foundation of your mindset and your character in place already, fully forged, your personality is something that will ebb and flow over time as you have learnings in life, as you interact with different people, as you start to gain wisdom. All of that can continue to grow. It's pretty awesome. It's like those first two, you begin to forge and they're rock hard. And once you find those things, they almost get like set in stone and they can never take them away from you. So that might have been like version 1.0 of you and then version 2.0 of you. And now version 3.0 of you is honing in your personality because of these other things that you forged in life. And that personality can shift over time because of the ways that you choose to act and react and learn and grow through scenarios and people, seasons of people in your life. Now, number 4, something that people can't take away from you is how you choose to be transparent, right? And this can be like a selective thing too, because transparency, I believe, is absolutely important. I believe that transparency is something that is essential for being honest in certain types of relationships in your life, for being vulnerable. Vulnerability is a level of transparency too. And this is needed, especially with those who you're in close relationships with. And I've talked about this even just in the past week or two about the closeness of relationships. And it had to do with saying the word no, but this was, I think, was a couple weeks ago. But the level of closeness of a relationship that you have to an individual determines the level of explanation that you need to give, which means the level of transparency that you should have with those individuals. And this has to do with taking consideration of how you want to grow that relationship, and also on the other side, how you need to protect your own energy and your own space. So something nobody can take away from you is number 4, the level of transparency that you choose to have dependent upon the closeness of relationships that you are in. The last one, number 5, that nobody can take away from you to help you continue to build towards that next best version, that next level up, that version 3.0, that version 11.0 of yourself, is your communication. And this is something that I pride myself on getting better and better and better at over time. And you know what? I still suck in some areas. Even though I'm a great communicator. I mean, you hear me on the show, people see me on stage. This is why I keep getting invited back time and time again on national news networks to talk about politics or current events or technology and cyber and security and social networks and wars and all of this stuff, is because I've gotten really good at communication. At the same time, I'm still learning. And this is something that continues to be able to level me up, because it's actually easier to communicate from stage. It's easier to communicate even on a show while I'm recording this right now. I'm literally looking at a camera and it's like I'm talking to myself, okay? But really I'm talking to you, right? When it gets to close relationships, that's where emotions get so heavily involved. Don't get me wrong. You listen to me for a while, you know I freaking get emotional on this show. You know I get passionate on this show. The closer you get in a relationship with somebody, sometimes the harder it is to communicate. And that's where it takes intentional effort for number 5 here, communication, to continue to grow into and develop and actually bring about what that next version of yourself looks like. That's something you are going to work on for the rest of your life. You will never, ever be a perfect communicator. I will never be a perfect communicator, especially in close relationships. Why? Because 50% of the communication doesn't actually depend on you when it comes to a relationship, right? You actually have to learn the other person, and that never stops. Learning how they actually hear things so that you can level up your communication. And that comes to people that work for you also, or people that you work with. You have to learn how they hear things. That's a form of leveling up in your communication. And you know what? It's something nobody can ever take away from you, is that desire for better communication. 5 things to become the next best version of yourself, and that people cannot take away from you, is your mindset, character, personality, transparency, and your communication. Now, get the hell out there and go get it. Come on now, share this out with a bunch of people, because people are going to grow from this and watch everything just skyrocket in your life and your relationships. All of that. This is the real upgrade in life.